Good morning, America. As we look at the weather map this Monday, August 11th, 2025, our attention is urgently turning to the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. A new and formidable storm has officially earned its name, and it is one we will be tracking very closely all week. Hurricane Erin, the first official hurricane of the 2025 Atlantic season, is churning out in the open waters, gathering strength with each passing hour. This is a critical moment for everyone along the East Coast, from Florida all the way up to New England, and for our friends in the Caribbean and Bermuda. The question on everyone's mind is simple but incredibly important. Where is Erin headed? The answers are not yet certain, which makes this the perfect time to prepare. The formation of the season's first hurricane is always a significant milestone. You are going to hear the term spaghetti models a lot this week, and it is a fantastic tool for understanding hurricane forecasts. So, what exactly are they? Imagine you want to predict where a balloon will land after you release it. You would need to know the wind speed, the wind direction, the temperature, and other factors. Different computer programs might have slightly different ideas about those conditions. A spaghetti model, or spaghetti plot, is simply a visual representation of all those different predictions on one map. When you see the spaghetti lines clustered tightly together, it means most of the computer models are in good agreement. However, when the lines spread out widely, like a loose handful of spaghetti, it signals a great deal of uncertainty. It is also crucial to remember that the spaghetti models only show the potential track of the storm's center. A hurricane is not a single point on a map. It is a massive system of wind, rain, and waves that can extend hundreds of miles from its eye. Every hurricane has an origin story, and Erin's began nearly 2 weeks ago in a place very far from our shores. It started as a subtle disturbance, a tropical wave moving off the western coast of Africa. These waves are like seeds for hurricanes, rolling off the continent every few days during the peak season. For days, we watched this particular wave travel westward across the warm waters of the far eastern Atlantic. But this system was persistent. As it moved farther west, it found a much more favorable environment. The ocean waters beneath it were incredibly warm, acting as high-octane fuel for its engine. Reconnaissance aircraft, our brave hurricane hunters, have been flying missions into the storm, gathering critical data on wind speeds and central pressure. This morning, based on that direct evidence, Erin was officially upgraded to the first hurricane of the 2025 season. It is currently located in the central Atlantic, moving on a generally west-northwest track over open ocean. With Hurricane Erin now officially on the map, the next critical question is about its strength. How powerful could it become? Forecasters at the National Hurricane Center and meteorologists across the country are analyzing a mix of factors. Right now, the conditions in its immediate vicinity are highly conducive for strengthening. The sea surface temperatures are well above the 80-degree Fahrenheit threshold needed for intensification, and the upper-level wind environment is very calm. We expect Erin to continue intensifying over the next 48 to 72 hours, and there is a distinct possibility it could become a major hurricane. Most intensity models are forecasting Erin to reach at least Category 3 status by the middle of this week. However, its long-term intensity forecast is more complicated. This is one of the biggest challenges in hurricane forecasting, predicting the eye wall replacement cycles and other internal dynamics that cause a storm's intensity to fluctuate. As a leading meteorologist from AccuWeather put it, we have very high confidence that Erin will become a major hurricane. What's less certain is how strong it will be if and when it approaches any landmass. This is the multi-million-dollar question. Where is Hurricane Erin going? As we look at the latest spaghetti models, we see two main scenarios emerging, and the outcome depends entirely on a battle between massive atmospheric steering currents. The first scenario, and the one we are all hoping for, is that Erin curves harmlessly out to sea. This would happen if a strong trough of low pressure digging into the eastern United States is powerful enough to pick the storm up and steer it north. The second scenario, however, is more concerning and poses a significant threat to the United States. In this version of events, the ridge of high pressure over the Atlantic would act like a wall, blocking Erin's northward escape. Right now, it is simply too early to say with certainty which scenario will play out. The official forecast from the National Hurricane Center reflects this uncertainty. The cone of uncertainty is quite wide, encompassing a vast area of the western Atlantic. The key time frame to watch will be Wednesday through Friday. During these days, Erin will reach a critical fork in the road in its journey across the Atlantic. A a shift of just 50 to 100 miles in the storm's track 5 days from now can mean the difference between a sunny day and a devastating landfall. It is a common and dangerous misconception that you are safe if you are outside the forecast cone. A major hurricane like Erin is a gigantic weather machine, and its impacts can be felt hundreds of miles away from its center. Even if the core of the storm stays well offshore, the U.S. East Coast will almost certainly feel its effects. The most immediate and widespread threat will come from the ocean itself, generating massive swells that will create extremely dangerous surf conditions. This will create deadly rip currents. Rip currents are strong, narrow channels of water that pull swimmers away from the shore at high speed. They are a silent killer and are responsible for dozens of fatalities each year. If you are planning a trip to an East Coast beach this weekend, it is absolutely critical that you heed all warnings from lifeguards and local officials. Many beaches may be closed to swimming, and it is vital to obey those closures. Beyond the dangerous surf, other impacts are also possible. Bands of heavy rain could rotate onshore, leading to localized flooding. Beach erosion will be a significant concern, threatening coastal properties and infrastructure. While Hurricane Erin is rightfully stealing the spotlight, it is important to remember that it is not the only thing we are watching in the vast Atlantic basin. This is, after all, the peak of the hurricane season, and the tropics are incredibly active right now. Forecasters at the National Hurricane Center are currently monitoring 2 other areas of disturbed weather. Thankfully, at this moment, neither of these systems poses an immediate threat of development, but they serve as a stark reminder that new storms can form quickly. The presence of these other systems highlights the energetic state of the Atlantic right now. It is a classic setup for the peak of hurricane season. We will likely be tracking several more storms before things quiet down later this fall. So, what is the bottom line for you at home on this Monday morning? The most important message is one of calm, vigilant preparedness. Hurricane Erin is a powerful storm churning in the Atlantic, and it has the potential to become a major hurricane. Because of this uncertainty, we cannot afford to be complacent. Take some time today or tomorrow to go over your hurricane plan. Check your disaster supply kit. Make sure you have enough supplies to last for several days. Stay informed by listening to trusted sources. The National Hurricane Center will issue new advisories every few hours. Your local news and weather teams will provide specific information for your community. This is a critical week. Hurricane Erin is a powerful reminder that hurricane season is here, and it demands our attention and our respect. The actions we take over the next 48 to 72 hours are crucial. Do not wait. Prepare now, stay informed, and be ready to act if necessary. The path of a hurricane can change quickly, and being prepared is the only way to ensure the safety of you and your loved ones. We'll be watching Erin's every move, and we'll be right here to keep you ahead of the storm. We will be here every step of the way, bringing you the most up-to-date information as soon as we get